Is SHTF ever going to happen? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. If you guys keep an eye on what's going on in the world around you, I don't really, but I know some things that are going on. The wars, the currency issues, economic issues, the world stage, the New World Order, inflation, shortages. We've all seen this stuff. But most people don't feel that we're necessarily in SHTF right now. Although, you may think we kind of are. So I've been prepping since probably like 1999. The whole Y2K thing, I honestly didn't think that there would be any problems with computers. It's not what I was prepping for. What I was prepping for was dumb people doing dumb things, basically. That's what I thought might happen. So, being prepared is a good thing. But let's talk about, like, a lot of people say, oh yeah, survivalists, preppers, stuff like that. All these different people have been talking about the world's ending and all this stuff's happening for, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. Valid point. But what is SHTF? Stuff hitting the fan, to put it gently. It can take many forms. It doesn't have to be a total collapse. It doesn't have to be a big event that puts us back to 1800s like an EMP or anything like that. It can be a personal SHTF. You get injured. You lose your job. Lots of different things can happen. It can also be natural disasters. It can be economic collapse. It can be EMP. It can be world war. There's lots of different things that could qualify as SHTF. Odds are they will happen. We've been through personal SHTFs. We haven't really been through any of the other ones yet personally, but other than the fact that we all know inflation, things cost a lot more now. I mean, ludicrous. It's just crazy. We've seen the shortages, but because we've been prepared, we weathered the storm very well. We saw the whole, lockdown, all that stuff, and I have a feeling that there's going to be a next one. There will. I have a feeling I know what it's going to be. I don't think I'm really going to talk about it here, but I have a feeling, yes, there will be a next one coming with all different kinds of stuff. Because what they did is I think that was a trial run. They did a trial run and they saw how people reacted and how people were sheep and they did as they were told and they just went along to get along. A lot of people, I'd say probably the majority of people. There's those of us that didn't comply, but most people just comply. They do what the government and or the news, the media tells them to do. So why prepare? It's a good question. If something big doesn't ever happen, great. Tell you what prepping does. Prepping has given me peace of mind for a long time now. So I know that if something happens, we're good. If nothing happens, we're good. If nothing happens, so what? We just rotate through our food storage and add to more. Once you get to a certain point, it is more difficult to rotate through it though, because you have so much more. But that's one good thing that's about dry goods, canned goods, stuff like that, is yes, they have a good by date, a best by date, a whatever use by date, but those are just mainly put on there by the manufacturers to get you to throw it away and buy more. Honestly, people have opened canned goods from long time ago and they've been fine. They've pulled wheat out of the pharaoh's tombs in Egypt from thousands of years ago that still sprouted. So yeah, we do need to rotate through our stuff. We do need to keep on top of stuff. But the main topic of this video is kind of to the naysayers. People say, nothing's ever going to happen. Well, that's not true. Something may not happen in our lifetimes such as a large event like the Great Depression, like, the total dollar collapse, an EMP, those things like I already mentioned. But things will happen. And preparedness isn't some fringe weirdo idea. It's what our ancestors, even as early as my grandparents, they always had a basement, a root cellar, whatever you want to call it. And they home canned stuff from their garden. They had a big garden, grew all kinds of stuff. I remember as a kid running around the garden, I would just chow awesome fruits and vegetables all day long, every day. And that's so healthy. That may be one of the reasons why my grandparents lived to be 93 and 97. So, yeah, that good healthy eating that comes along with doing things that comes from preparedness. Gardening, canning your own stuff, putting it in your root cellar for use later on. These really come from people that lived through the Great Depression. They learned the lesson. They learned that, hey, it may not always be there. We've gotten soft as Americans. We are so used to this on-demand supply system working smoothly. And for the most part, it does. But any little disruption can really throw a loop in things. If those trucks stop rolling and stop replenishing stores, especially on a big scale, that could definitely lead to SHTF. Because those stores are going to run out of their products very quickly. And as there's less, more people are freaking out. Remember the whole toilet paper, hand sanitizer, masks, and glove thing? Can you imagine that with food? People were fighting over toilet paper. Seriously? Like there's no other way to wipe your bum? Okay. Can you imagine what it's going to be like if they're going for food? There's shortage of food and they can't feed their families? Or there's worry about the possibility of feeding their families? I mean, we've seen, remember a couple years ago, Portland, Seattle burning? That wasn't due to that. But there's events that can happen. And we are, I don't even know how far out. I don't even pay attention. I don't care that much about politics anymore. I care about my tribe, my family. Do I participate? Of course I do. Because if I don't, that would just be stupid. I feel, personally, if you don't want to participate, hey, free will. But there's that cycle coming up where we're going to pick who stumbles around and makes a fool of themselves and destroys our country even further. Kind of, because that's kind of where it's gone. With one recent exception that did a pretty darn good job. I'm not a T-train guy or anything like that. I'm not a, get him back in office, he'll fix everything. No, I'm not. He did do good things. I feel he did a pretty decent job. But one person, man, woman, doesn't matter, is not going to change it. We need to change it at the grassroots level, the family level, the tribe level, local level, by being more self-sustainable, growing our own food, raising our own animals, preparing, tribing, all these kind of things. These are things that will establish us and help us to be more successful no matter what happens. If it's a small personal SHTF, we're good. Especially with tribe around to help out. That's vital. Sorry if I'm shaking. It's cold in here. This is my underground secret bunker. Yeah, SHTF. People say it's not going to happen. We're stupid for prepping. Well, I disagree. Just the peace of mind alone is worth it. Prepping can get expensive. Yeah, that's why I advocate prepping a little every day. Just a little bit at a time. A couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, 5, 10, 20 bucks. That may be significant to some people. And that's real. But there's always a way. There's local food banks. There's charitable organizations. There's thrift stores. I love thrift stores. I find so many awesome preps in thrift stores. But people really, I think, I don't really pay attention to that much stuff anymore, but I know that people are really concerned and about this whole war thing. How's it going to affect us? Well, I know that I'm not going to be strapping on gear and going somewhere to fight. I do know that if it comes here, that yeah, darn right I will be. And a lot of my boys will be. It depends on the situation you are, where you're at. If it goes nuclear, are you close to a tier 1 target, tier 2, tier 3 target? I'm fairly close to tier 1 targets, honestly. So is that a concern for me? Yes. And that is one thing that I do pay attention to. Because I want as much of a heads up, prior notice that something like that's going to happen, so that I might be able to get out. Might not, though. But I do have peace of mind and established plans and things in place, bug out locations, alternate bug out locations, tertiary bug out locations, caches, tribe members' homes, homesteads, in all different directions. Routes, alternate routes, all that kind of stuff. So I would work on things like that give you the flexibility. That's what's nice about preparedness. It really gives you flexibility as well as peace of mind. It allows you to just sit back and weather the storm a little bit. If everybody's rushing to the stores to buy stuff, you don't necessarily have to go fight through all that mess and possibly get yourself in a dangerous situation. I advocate, no matter where you go, when you go, that you take a personal defensive tool with you. Especially coming up over the next year or so with all this, picking our people in charge stuff. I have a feeling that will probably be a very tumultuous time. I have a feeling that the next will probably come before then, so that they can put plans in place and do different things. You guys know what those things are. So that could be an SHTF situation. No matter what it is, I feel that preparedness is never stupid. It is peace of mind, and I hope that you guys are doing it. I hope that you guys are taking it seriously, but not letting it overwhelm you. Not letting it be too much of a worry or a concern. I love you guys. I care about you guys. If you're still here at this point in the video, please subscribe, comment below, share the videos, hit that thumbs up, and that super thanks, little heart with thanks, really helps out. It really helps us to be able to do what we do here on YouTube that's free for you guys. Whether it's sharing knowledge, whether it's just empowering and uplifting you guys, whether it's encouraging you guys, whether it's teaching you guys, no matter what it is. We need to build the community. We need to build more assets so there's fewer liabilities out there coming for your food, my food, and everything else, and causing problems in general. So have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.